All right, here we go. Congratulations. So today we're going to be doing a little video from the seller's perspective and kind of reviewing now that we've accepted an offer, what comes next? What are those next stages? And first of all, I tell my clients you should be excited. We've obviously gotten in an offer that you're comfortable with, that helps you accomplish the goal that you had set out to do when you first decided to go on this adventure of selling your home. So first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to loop everybody in. So what does that mean? That means we're going to get that purchase contract, any counters, any type of those documents that we use during this transaction. We're going to get them over to both sides, the buying agent. We're going to get them over to my transaction coordinator. You're now going to start seeing a lot of emails, especially in the first few days coming over. We're going to handle everything. We'll be on those. Those are going to just be more for your correspondence, for you to just kind of keep an eye on and stay in the loop. If you have any questions on those, please reach out. We'll be more happy to go through those with you. But you're going to start to see the title company starting to chime in on a few things. You're also going to get some emails from my transaction coordinator. She's going to be keeping you in the loop of, really important dates. What are the next steps? What kind of signatures they have coming up for you? Basically, they're going to monitor our compliance, make sure everything is done with accordance to the state laws here in Nevada, making sure that all the deadlines are met, making sure that the buyers are not waiting for anything on our end. So, and again, once we really get these contracts signed, once those first initial emails kind of get passed through, really the first major step is the buyer opening escrow. Once they do that, they're going to go ahead and copy us on the email. They're going to go ahead and keep us in the loop on when it was opened, escrow numbers, the next phase is they'll go ahead and copy us on the earnest money deposit receipts, which typically is going to be coming over in those first 2 to 3 days. And obviously title is going to hold on to that just kind of as that third party. So once we get escrow open, we kind of take that next step into what's on your plate. Well, at this point, it's a little bit of a waiting game. Typically, the due diligence is going to be somewhere in 10 to 14 days, depending on how your contract was laid out. But during that first 10 to 14 days, the buyer's agent's obviously going to be reaching out to me. I'm going to be setting up a home inspection time with you guys to make sure that it fits into your schedule. Now, as far as the home inspection goes, you don't need to be there. It's probably better that you're not there. That way it kind of gives the home inspector free range to kind of go and do his thing or her thing and really kind of just expedites thing, and we don't need to be in their way. I typically will not show up for something like that. Again, typically it's going to be the home inspector, potentially the buyer's agent at the end, and potentially even the buyers. That way the home inspector can walk them through their findings. So here's what I'm going to prepare you for kind of both sides of the home inspection. And you got to understand a little bit of what the home inspector's job is to do is to visually inspect the home to make sure things are working properly, point out things that need to be fixed or could be issues, whether they're safety hazards or cosmetic things. So please understand and be prepared that home inspectors are going to pick things apart. That's literally their job. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean everything needs to be fixed. That doesn't mean the house is falling apart. So basically what we'll do is that we'll hang back. At that time, the buyer's agents is at some point within those first 10 to 14 days during that due diligence period, we're going to get a request for repairs from that agent. Could be a list of one thing, could be a list of 10, 15 things, ranging from, replacing roofs or roof damage to needing new plates to cover light switches and everything in between. So at that point, that's when we'll really sit down next, kind of review this, adapt, and figure out our strategy and how we want to counter to what the buyers have requested. And again, just remember, just like everything kind of in these contracts, this is a negotiating period. Just because they send over a list of 10 things does not mean you need to fix all 10 of those things. It doesn't mean you even have to fix any of them. It could be a credit. It could be hey, listen, we're going to sell as is. Or it could be that, we agree all these need to be fixed. We're going to go ahead and fix those and we keep everything moving. So just be prepared for that during this period. And once we sign off on that and kind of negotiate through that period, we'll kind of move into that next phase. And here again, probably the next thing up on your plate is going to be if you live in an HOA community, we're going to have to get those demands sent out. We're going to file for, the CC&R. So you're going to get a link more than likely from my transaction coordinator. Sometimes it comes straight from the HOA, but there are going to be some fees on the seller end to purchase those documents and get those delivered. And then we will take on the task of getting them over to the buyer's agent. Once they get those, they'll have 5 days to go ahead and review review them and let us know if they're having any problems or issues with the CCNRs. But really, congratulations. We're going to really keep an eye on things those first 10 to 15, 14 days. That'll kind of be our really critical and first negotiating point. Once we clear that, we'll move on to the appraisal contingency, the loan contingencies, marking those dates on our calendar and kind of checking those off as we pass them. But we're going to focus here on the first 10 to 14 days, that due diligence period, and do everything we can to keep everything moving and on pace to make sure that we meet the timelines of the close of escrow. So as like always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's going to be more videos popping up daily. So if there's questions that weren't answered in this one, there's potentially other videos that you can jump into that may answer some of those questions. Or again, like I said, shoot me a call, a text, and let's make sure we get all those questions answered for you. All right. Have a great day.